sold my Apple stock, and today I'm going to be telling you exactly why. In this video, I'm going to be going over why I sold my stock on Friday, August 28th. I'm also going to be going over how much I profited from my Apple stock in the month of August, what I'm expecting Apple to do after the split, and when I plan to buy Apple next. Even though I love Apple products, I have not been a huge investor in Apple over the years. And honestly, I'm not really quite sure why. It doesn't make much sense. I think I just spent so much time focusing on the crypto markets, and I'm just starting to get into your average stocks. And so I am just kind of getting my toes wet when it comes to stocks, and that's why I really haven't gone heavy into Apple. But what I can say is that in the month of August, I bought 2 stocks. I bought them on 2 separate days for 2 separate prices. So let's go through what I purchased Apple for and what I sold it at and exactly how much I profited. So you can see here that I bought a share of Apple at $435.80. I just bought 1 share. It was a market buy, and then the next day I bought Apple again. I bought it at $439.95. Once again, it was also a market buy. Then you can see here on Friday, August 28th, I did a market sell for both of the shares of Apple that I purchased. So I sold both shares at $501.06. So between the 2 shares, I profited approximately $125. But there's a reason why I sold. I didn't necessarily sell because I was in the profit. I could have done that days before, and I could have even done that at the point when we saw Apple reach its all-time high of $515. Okay, so I showed you how much I profited from Apple in the month of August. Nothing life-changing, but hey, $125, I'll take it. Now I'm going to be getting into exactly why I decided to sell Apple. When you take everything out of the equation in terms of the stock split, which has been the talk of the month, it feels like, there's a lot of other reasons why I decided to sell Apple. I'm not saying this is financial advice, and I'm surely not saying that I made the right decision. But with the indicators that I use, this is why I decided to sell Apple. When you look at the monthly chart here, obviously it technically looks bullish. We have a green 1, or green 2 above a 1, and a green 3 going above a 2. But I wanted to go ahead and look at smaller time frames. So when we go ahead and take it back to the weekly time frame, we could see here just how overbought Apple is. I mean, it's really up there when it comes to being overbought. And the last time it was in this range, you could see over here that it had a correction. That was obviously though in March when everything took quite a hit. But I mean, you could see how overextended this run-up is. I think it's getting near towards the end. I'm not saying it's going to crash. I'm just saying that there's a healthy pullback that's going to be necessary. So I think that the weekly time frame looks overextended. When I switch over to the daily chart, we see here that we got a red 9. So I'm anticipating a, maybe 4 or 5 candle correction, and then going back up. And that has some interesting timing when it comes to when we look at Apple in the past and how it has done the week after splitting. So just to kind of look at some shorter time frames, I technically wouldn't want to be buying this on the 12-hour and as well as the 4-hour. Let's see here. We have a red 2 going below a red 1 on the 4-hour, so that's also in a bearish posture. So I don't want to go into any shorter time frames, but what I would like to do next is take a look back at the last times Apple split. Let's look at the history of Apple and what happened the week after it split. So let's go to the most recent split, which was June of 2014. So you can see here that on June 14th, Apple had the split. You could see that it had, 2 green days, but then it was followed by several red days, over a week of red days, and it saw about a 3 to 4% pullback. So I'm anticipating something quite similar to happen after this particular stock split as well. But you could also see that in the longer term range, that it ultimately, the stock split was bullish for Apple. And it, had the split at approximately $93. That was in June. And then in November, it topped at about $120, and that was on November 25th. So February 28th of 2005 was the stock split prior to that. And you can once again see here that right after the stock split, the stock price dropped about 14% within that next week. So you could see here after both previous stock splits, the next week was a week of pullback. That happened both times. I'm not going to get into the year 2000 or even the year 87. I think that market sentiment is different and times were different, and so I don't think it's useful to look at those two previous stock splits. So yes, I am expecting Apple to have a pullback this coming week once the shares are given out in terms of split. So the stocks technically split on Friday the 28th, and Monday the 31st is when trading is actually going to begin after the stock split. I'm going to be keeping a close eye. So the stock technically split at about $500. So we should be seeing Apple opening up at about $125 on Monday. I am not going to, I don't have any plans to particularly buy on Monday, Tuesday, or even Wednesday unless we see something like a 10 to 15% pullback. Then I might start dollar cost averaging in. But I'm going to wait. I think a good week to play out is a healthy amount of time to see how the market responds to the split. So that's my plan with Apple. Like I said, no financial advice here, but I want to hear what your plans are when it comes to Apple. That's just how I'm approaching it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what I can say is that you don't have too much time left to get 2 free stocks with Webull. The promotion ends at the end of the month. Go ahead and check out my link down below. You will get 2 free stocks. I will get 2 free stocks. It's a win-win for all of us. And also, don't forget, when I hit 500 subscribers, I'm giving away a free Ledger Nano S. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Share my channel with your friends so that the giveaway will happen much quicker. That's all I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.